Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman. Today we're learning how to play Canoe Song, a song with an interesting background. I used to think that this song was a traditional Native American folk song because that's what I was taught, and that's what I used to tell all my students. It was written by a lady named Margaret Embers McGee way back in the early 1900s for use in the Scouting program, and it became popular throughout the Boy Scout and Girl Scouts of America programs. Apparently, she simply composed it to sound like a traditional American Indian song, and it worked. She fooled a lot of music teachers, myself included. Let's take a look at the score of Canoe Song to get started learning it. Here's the score for Canoe Song. Take a moment and tell me what you notice. Maybe you notice this forte symbol. Notice we'll have a treble and bass clef. Our tempo indication is moderato, means a medium speed. What's our time signature? If you said 2/4, you're correct. So we'll have 2 beats in every measure. Now let's check out the rhythms of the melody. You'll notice we have this ti-ta-ti rhythm that we've seen in the past and that we call syncopation. Remember, syncopation is where we have a lot of rhythm happening on the and or second half of the beat. Remember, we can call this first half of the beat 1, the second half of the beat and because this quarter note needs a full beat, but it only has a half so far, it needs to borrow or take the first half of beat 2 to make a full beat for that quarter note, and then we're left with a half beat for this final flagged 8th note. So we get 1 and 2 and. Will you tap and count that rhythm with me? Ready, go. 1 and 2 and. And then to go on, we get 1 and then this quarter note gets 2 and, both halves of the beat. Let's tap and count the rhythm for these first 2 measures. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now we could also use our old rhythm words, ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. Let's try it that way. Ready, go. Ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. Now, I'd like you to pause the video and in your own sheet music, which I'd like you to download and print at home, try writing in all the subdivided counts through the whole thing and then practice tapping and counting on your own. Then press play and we'll check it out together. All right, here's how the count should be written into your music. Now let's try tapping and counting it together. I'll count 1 and 2 and to get us ready, and then let's start. Ready, 1 and 2 and 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 then it repeats. Let's listen to a performance. Canoe Song is in C minor, which I know because we see this E flat in the score, but it's a new kind of minor. You're used to this C minor pentascale, but today we're going to use C pentatonic minor. Pentatonic is a special kind of scale that doesn't have any half steps, which is why I have to take away this D because it forms a half step with that E. Now, penta, you'll remember, means 5. So there are 5 notes in this scale. Where is the 5th note? It's right here on B flat. Or, in the case of Canoe Song, we'll put that B flat down here. So these 5 pitches form the C pentatonic minor scale. Let's name the notes. B flat, C, which is Do, E flat, F, and G. That's C pentatonic minor. Let's see how to play it. We'll use fingers 1, 3, So we won't even need our finger 2 on this D. 1, 3, 4, 5. Try playing that with me. Go. 1, 3, 4, 5. And now for this B flat, what we'll do is keep your finger 1 on C and let your other fingers glide over, so finger 2 now gets to play this B flat. Since the 2 didn't get to play the D, we'll give it this B flat instead. Isn't that a cool sound? Try these notes with me. C, play them with me. E flat, F, G, then step back down, F, E flat, C, then come over. Let all your fingers just kind of glide over. Finger 2 lands on B flat, then back to C. That's C pentatonic minor. All right, let's try to play the first 2 measures of Canoe Song. Starts with finger 5 on G, and we have my paddle's keen and bright. Now your turn. Good. Now let's try it together. Ready, go. My paddle's keen and bright. Good. Now, on flashing, we have finger 3 on E flat, flashing, and while you're playing that E flat, something interesting is going to happen. We're getting a little more advanced now. So while you're playing the E flat, your finger 1 is going to gently and subtly glide underneath to the F on your piano. The reason for that is, in just a moment, we're going to need to shift position up to a higher place on the piano so we can reach this high or treble C up here. So watch this once. We have flashing like silver. On the word flashing, your finger 1 just comfortably sneaks underneath, and then like, you play the F, and then all of your other fingers shift over. Silver. Putting it all together again. Flashing like silver. Now, press pause and try that a few times. Now, when you're trying this out, a few tips to remember. To get your thumb underneath, don't lift your wrist and arm way up to accommodate it. Let it kind of just subtly sneak under. Flashing. Notice how I'm keeping my hand position and shape and arm in pretty much the same position. My thumb is just gliding underneath subtly, flashing like silver. And then once I'm under, my other fingers just glide over, and now I'm in a new position. Press pause and try that on your own a few times. Flashing like silver. Until you feel comfortable with that, you can do it in a comfortable, subtle way. Then press play when you're ready to go on. All right, let's put all of line 1 together. Go ahead and watch me once. Now, it's your turn to try. Press pause and put all of that together, then press play when you're ready to go on. Now, let's try line 2. You'll recall that at the end of line 1, we ended up in this F position. With silver, finger 5 on C. Now, the next line starts with the same notes as line 1, but since we're in a new position, we'll have to use finger 2. Follow the, and then we need to keep going down. So what's going to happen here is all of our fingers are going to glide over our thumb to finger 3 landing on E flat, wild goose flight. So listen to that again. In F position, we have follow the wild goose flight. On wild, our finger 3 is going to glide across with the other fingers following along, except for the thumb. Wild, and then thumb sneaks out. Goose flight. Now your turn to try that. Come up to the F position and try follow the wild goose flight. Press pause and try that a few times on your own. Remember to start in the F position, then glide down. Press play once you've practiced that a few times and you're feeling comfortable. Once you've made it there, you're ready for the last 2 measures, which is dip, dip, and swing. You'll notice that since we need a B flat, our fingers are going to glide over our thumb, which stays on C, dip, dip, and swing, and then you can come right back. Now, your turn. Good, let's try it together. Dip, dip, and swing. Try it with me. Go. Dip, dip, and swing. Good. Now, here is all of Canoe Song put together. Just watch this once and notice what my hand is doing, all the little techniques we talked about. In everything, you want to keep your hand pretty subtle and just glide to where you need to be without making a big deal with lots of elbow or arm motions. Here we go. Thumb comes under. Glide across. Glide across. Then it repeats. Glide under. Glide across. Now press pause and try it a few times on your own, then press play when you're ready to go on. Now let's try playing it together. I'm going to add in the left-hand part, which keeps a steady beat down here like this. And you're just in charge of the right hand. We'll go a little bit on the slower side. Get your right hand in position, and let's try it. I'll count in 2 beats, just 1, 2, and then we start. Here we go. 1, 2. Nice work learning the right hand of Canoe Song. Practice Canoe Song every day until you feel 100% confident, and then you'll be ready for our next lesson on putting Canoe Song hands together. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Hey, princess. Knock, knock. Who's there? Canoe. Canoe who? Canoe help me with my piano practice?